Aussies, I'm Jake Lindo, and if you ain't watching this show, then you know what, you ain't watching anything to do with Aussie wrestling, because they got everything to do with OWP and Aussie wrestling.
Hello and welcome to our wrestling
perspective.
If you like what you see, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like what you see, give it a thumbs down. But you don't want to give it a thumbs down. In the famous words of Coke, sub it, cousin. Today we'll be doing our vlog about World Series Wrestling Melbourne Night 1, the Elite Takeover. Usually we'll do this in a car, but the stickety bob that sticks to the window and the phone weren't working.
Plus you don't want to hear the GPS talking to us.
Yeah. So anyway, let's get this started. For the meet and greet, loved every minute of it. We thought the line to the actual meet and greet hall was that long, but it ended up just being for Cody and Brandy.
Yep.
And Villain, Marty School, he had his Villain Enterprise t-shirts there, but no one really understood. They're like, Villain Enterprise?
No,
who wants to buy a Villain Enterprise t-shirt when I want to buy a Villain Bullet Club or just a Villain t-shirt?
But
anyway.
I do believe that Villain Enterprises, I think it was already on Pro Wrestling Tees before.
It was already on Pro Wrestling Tees, so we're just laying down the seeds.
Mm.
And what better time than having Brody King team up with him? Anyway, we didn't get to see Brody King in the meet and greet. He went into the intermission meet and greet.
Which we were just busy having cigarettes.
If we're packed into an arena, yeah, plus I only had $20 on me.
Could have shouted you.
Until I get paid next. And anyway, yeah, the meet and greet was fantastic.
You had a bit of the shakes for
yeah, I had mad anxiety. The whole time was just pure chaos and nerves going in my body.
And then
I'm there trying to pull money back and I'm shaking as hell.
And then as soon as I met Cody, I put him under the bus. I said the reason why we were wet is because this one over here doesn't have any money, so we had to walk through the rain to get to the ATM.
It was pissing down raining. I'm not talking little rain. I'm talking massive amount of rain.
Yep.
Smashing down.
Yep.
Venue was made out of tin.
Yep. Yeah, we heard every second of it.
And I don't think we speak the same language, so there's no way I can tell him. Oh man, Bandito, damn it. Alright, anyways, so we're just gonna start over. You gotta be really loud. they don't really give a shit. So I'm gonna go.
Don't walk away, Slex. Take your opportunity, mate.
Hey. How about you just give me a second and listen to what I have to say? Yeah, please. Come and listen to me. Now everyone here knows it. Austin Aries. There is no one more fitting to hold that title. You are one hell of a talented wrestler, and I have looked up to you for years and years, as have the rest of the guys up in as have the rest of the guys in Australia, and you all know it. When you say that it's guys like Robbie Eagles, that it's the best that this country has to offer, there's not just Robbie. There are a lot of guys equally as talented and equally as hungry, ready to show the world what we're all about. You will know that. So Austin, it would be my honor if you would put that belt on the line.
Don't do it!
Against me. Yes, it would be an honor, but it's not going to happen. So, I tell you what, here's what can happen. Because I've been listening, and sometimes I like to give people what they want, not very often, but every once in a while. So here's what I'm thinking. Let's be honest. You're not in my league, okay? You want to step in the ring with someone at this level. Why don't you start someone at this level, okay? These people want to see slacks. So here's what I propose. How about you wrestle my protege Slexer tonight? Okay, if by some chance you can beat him, then tomorrow you get a shot at the WSW Championship.
Fuck him up!
this trainer.
Oh, I'm sorry, all these promos is a bit like Monday Night Raw, isn't it? Flip Gordon, I can't believe I'm going to say this, but it's actually good to see you. Now I've been here in WSW for quite some time, and on the last show, myself and Hangman Page, well, yeah. Myself and Hangman Page failed to win the tag team titles. So Flip, I've got a question for you. Flip, will you be my tag team partner?
Yes, 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 Give us one. Oh, get stuffed. I can't see shit.
Started all off World Series Wrestling, the Elite Takeover. We saw Edward Dusk, I think his name was Edward Dusk, up against Jamie Baby.
You sure that's his name?
I'm pretty sure. Otherwise, I just botched both of them, but that's majority.
Just call him Shawn Michaels.
Anyway, match was alright. Kick it off. I like how the guy had words.
What did it say? Like, something baby? What?
Something baby where you...
Who's your baby?
Who's your baby?
There we go.
It was...
Nice touch.
Yeah, right on the glasses. I like that. Edward Dusk, he kept yelling, "This is my moment."
Was it his moment?
Like, over nearly every minute of the match, he yelled it out. Is he going to be another true champion?
I was about to just say that.
To officially start the show off after the pre-match, we saw Cody come out to address the crowd with his IWGP United States Championship that he will not be competing within this tour, but he still came to meet everyone, and that he explained why, because there's torn muscles, is it, in a knee?
Yeah, he hurt himself. I can't even remember.
It's a massive knee issue. Nonetheless, good news out of it though, out of the injury news, he said that he will be coming to World Series Wrestling. He will be coming back.
So it was great he just came. It was just great he came in general there, just to meet the fans.
Exactly right. And he's a great dude, by the way. Fantastic.
Actually, while we're on the topic of Cody, you want to say, mention how, you met him at the meet and greet?
I got anxiety. The second match for the evening, but the first match for the World Series Wrestling Elite Takeover, technically, we saw the villain Marty Scurll, whoop whoop, up against the greatest ledge of all time, Adam Brooks.
What does that even mean?
Loose ledge. Legend, I think it's short for legend.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
What did you think of the match, Liz?
Awesome, great opener. Brooksy, one of the best that Australia has. PWG already knows that. Marty, love Marty. Love Marty.
It was a great way to start off as well.
But to see Brooksy, what was he, the face in this match?
Yeah.
God,
well, he nearly went over as a proper big
weird.
face there.
I actually thought he was going to win that match.
It was very close, and I like the new attire that Adam Brooks is wearing, the full get-up. I like it. It's good. In this match, we saw a fatal four-way. We saw the future classic Tom Phillip up against the natural Stevie Phillip, up against Bandidos, and up against the sniper of the sky, Robbie Eagles.
I was waiting for you to say that.
I have to each time.
Yes.
I didn't mention that in the meet and greet though, because
Should have.
no, because then he would have thought I was really weird. But he
It
probably
doesn't
thought
matter.
I was weird. As
Instead, you just asked him for his bandana.
the match was fantastic. He got a "This is awesome" chant going. Having the whole brotherly feud with people chanting Stevie's better,
He is better.
and then you having the Future Classic really pulling off that heat. Bandito's fantastic, and we all know Robbie Eagleset is fantastic as well. What do you reckon of the match, Les?
Stevie's better.
Stevie's better. In the next segment that we saw, the promo, we saw about Joey Ryan. He turned heel. Didn't
He's injured. How do you turn heel from an injury?
he? He did. If anyone has captured footage of earlier, he actually got boozed.
Because he wasn't wrestling.
I know, and
Because he was
and he was
injured.
even mentioning that he was going heel in Australia. No, I'm just kidding. It was another sad injury report that we got, but he has a torn pectoral muscle and he wasn't able to compete. But it was still good to see him in some shape or form, even just rocking up and saying hello to the crowd.
But you know the
Mention-
highlight was though? Cody coming back out.
I know, Cody coming back out to steal his moment.
Loved it.
It was
More
fantastic.
Cody. More Cody.
And then also mentioning that he postponed his surgery
Just to come out.
just to come to World Series Wrestling because he finds it as another home.
Being in that much pain to catch a flight here. Great effort.
Exactly.
Thank you,
Fantastic.
Joey.
Get better soon, Joey. In this match, we saw a 3-on-2 handicap match. We saw the new formed team of Big Brody Marshall, who is now called the Gladiator. Big Brody Marshall teaming up with the other Basso brother, who just recently got repackaged into the Viking Grimm. They came out as gods and monsters. Gam. I guess that's
Gam. Alright.
Gam.
That's
Yeah?
their new name.
Gam. Gam. Gam.
If only we went to 9-2, we could have changed that.
Exactly right. Up against, since we couldn't see Joey Ryan tag with Concrete Davidson in this match, Concrete Davidson came up with the brilliant idea, since Joey's not going to be there, I need to match up the competitors. But since Big Brody Marshall and the Viking Grimm are up there very tall, he wanted a weight comparison.
Yeah.
So he wanted to even up the odds basically just on weight.
Yes.
So he brought out the two, well, not newcomers, they were at the start of some events.
They've
We
been at some
saw
of the dark matches.
familiar faces from
Yeah.
the dark matches. We saw true champion
True
Cass
champion.
Stone and Nate Cross.
I actually didn't even know they were a tag team.
The whole time they were feuding against each other, true champion going over as a massive heel in there. Nate Cross, I like his Goku gear. Match was squash.
I wouldn't say exactly squash. What about the penis spot?
Okay. Match was fantastic until Joey Ryan took my footage. Gods and Monsters are a fantastic new team to add to the World Series Wrestling Tour.
Very excited to see them together. now.
Exactly right, and it gives Big Brody Marshall some fresh blood. And it's cool to see a Viking team up with a Gladiator. It's a clash now.
Look, the name, not the best. When you say Gam, I'm more behind it. Concrete Davison. What about him trying to do the,
Oh my god, the penis flip.
yes,
I mean, the dick flip.
yes.
So Concrete, the first failed attempt. It's fantastic. He got Viking Grimm to just grab him straight on the nuts. But whilst Joey Ryan was in a manager coaching position, basically on the outside, and Concrete Davidson, he went for the pump. They were feeling something, and then he went for the sad face realization. Realization that, yeah, he doesn't have the strength, and Viking Grimm did a body slam while holding his nuts.
And what did Grim say?
You're not strong enough.
You don't have the power.
Then we saw Cass Stone and Nate Cross, I guess, form a proper team between themselves and actually target a bit towards Concrete Davidson.
I think the whole argument was because they got dick flipped as well.
They got dick flipped within the whole 5-man group.
You'll see the video, don't
Dick
worry.
flip. We'll add it, the original one, not the one that Joey Ryan.
But you can get it on Joey's Instagram as well if you want.
Yeah. And then after they took the dick flip, they're like, nah, you targeted us, and they gave a big boosh straight to Concrete Davison, which led Joey Ryan to come in the ring, pull out one lollipop, straight in Cass's mouth. Nate says, nah, mate, Another lollipop straight in his mouth. 2 super kicks. And that's how the 3-on-2 handicap match went with Gods and Monsters beating Cass Stone, true champion Nate Cross, and one half of the World Series Tag Team Champions, Great Davison.
Good twist.
In this segment, we saw another promo, but it was the returning World Series Wrestling World Champion in The Greatest Man That Ever Lived, Austin Aries, accompanied by his young protege, Slex.
Oh, Slacks.
Business is booming. He mentioned why he's champion, but the main reason why he was in the ring was to get the new design. World Series Wrestling just recently upgraded their championship design and gave him the new belt with the whole heelish character. When the ring announcer went to go give him the belt, he said, "You are the longest reigning." Aries takes the mic, blasts Australia, says no one's worth it, until we get interrupted by formerly heel but now face world class Chris Basso. What did you think of the situation?
Honestly, Aries was just getting booed. He was getting bantered, but did he not throw it back?
Oh yeah.
Especially
Every
the guy at the
piece
back.
of savage information that was straight heading into Aries' ears, something more savage came out of the Greatest Man That Ever Lived's mouth.
I think it just started because Harry just, someone in the crowd mentioned how he never beat Neville.
Yes.
And then I believe one other person said that, Harry lost all the bouts and he keeps losing. Where Aries goes back and says, "Well, you keep record of all my matches. How about I see you win a match and then something I'd rather have, but you were a bra?"
Exactly right.
He was vicious.
And he was saying how Australians aren't up to the scratch of the AA level. And he mentioned to Chris Basso, if you want a title shot, if this is a reason why you're coming to interrupt the Greatest Man That Ever Lived, Austin Aries, you're going to have to go through not the AA level, you're going to have to go through the B level
That was
within
trash.
his protege, with the business, Slex. So that was a confirmed match for later on. Wait until we get to it. In this match we saw the King of Monsters, one member of the Mighty Don't Kneel,
It goes,
Jonah
it goes.
Rock, up against Flip Gordon. He's finally booked, and he's
Finally.
booked in Australia.
Yes. Everybody's a flip.
Flip takes Australia. We tried to get a photo with Flip and Marty, yeah, because I was wearing the same shirt that day. So we had the both matching shirts. We're like, perfect, we're gonna get Marty and Flip together. We legit saw Marty at the table. We went up to Flip, was like, "Hey, can we get the photo?" We turned around just like the villain he is. Whoop whoop, gone. See ya.
I told you, we should have went to see Marty first.
So Jonah Rock up against Flip Gordon, the match was just terrific. Having even some blood come out of Jonah Rock's nose.
I think that was a
added,
stiff kick to the nose.
oh,
I
that
think they
just
missed
added
drop
the
kick.
more menacing look to Jonah Rock.
He's already
As in,
terrifying.
of course he's already terrifying, but adding that blood makes him even more terrifying. Could you imagine him with a crimson mask?
A little bit of JR.
I know, yeah. But every flip he had, there was a power bomb or a suplex that Jonah Rock took and just took advantage of. Because Flip was at such a small size. But after the match, what did we see? We saw Jonah Rock, the sore loser, after losing to Flip Gordon, attack Flip Gordon. But then out of nowhere, we saw Marty, the villain, Marty's girl, come out
For the
to
rescue.
save Flip.
Yes, his friend.
I know, and this is what shook everyone. We finally thought that it's Marty and Flip take Australia. Yeah, mate. But that didn't happen.
Didn't happen.
We saw him do a whole promo,
The whole little hug together.
hugged.
Them going for the tag team titles.
but then after the hug, Marty had Flip's head like that. And out we saw it unannounced, unpredictable.
Didn't even know he was in Australia.
Exactly. We saw Brody King. He came out and he kicked Flip in the face after Marty turned on Flip.
And what
we-
did they form?
The Villain Enterprises.
I marked.
In this match, right after the intermission, we saw the business is booming in Slex up against world class Chris Basso with Austin Aries as a special guest referee, which he was wearing Ronda Rousey's freaking tights for that match.
They were really
110%.
short.
They were really short. But he was managing to wear the actual belt while reffing. So that was
great touch.
That was fantastic to see. But the reasoning to this match, if Chris Basso won, he would get a future title shot against the World Series Wrestling World Champion, the greatest man that ever lived, Austin Aries. But if Slex won, he didn't even know that if he was to win, he wouldn't get an opportunity. Let's continue. So the whole match, we basically saw Aries favor Slex.
A lot of cheating tactics, a lot of fast pins, a lot of, whenever Bass will get the advantage, break it up.
Exactly.
When Slex went to do something dirty, he'd deliberately turn around.
Fast counts by Austin Aries whenever Slex went to cover Chris Basso. But then whenever Chris Basso had the upper hand, and he could have pinned him to 3 at one point, and then Aries was basically 1, and then he kicked out. But then you could have, but for Slex,
well, that's the match even ended as well.
exactly right. And then after the match ended, the whole time the crowd was cheering for the business Slex to just lay a whooping straight on Austin Aries, turn on his master and claim his way to the throne. And that's what we exactly saw. After a whole head stuff, after they hugged, they even high-fived.
High-fived, yeah.
They both laughed, and then he turned on him, and then I thought Chris Basso was going to team up with Austin Aries, but it didn't go like that. But instead, we got Slex and Chris Basso as faces. In the semi-main event, we saw a triple threat women's match. We saw Erica Reed, the Dreamtime Voodoo Witch.
Who you threw a streamer at?
I didn't throw a streamer at. It landed way behind.
You hit the mouse.
I didn't hit. She didn't even have the mouse on her by the time she was in the ring.
On the shoulder.
Anyway.
Animal cruelty.
Up against impressive Indy Hartwell. Up against Brandy Rhodes. What did you think of the match, Liz?
Good match.
It was actually very good.
I would have liked
like
more
it.
of Erica.
Well, this is the thing with us. We're not saying their matches are bad. It's just whenever we went there, we got the wrong end of the booking. Alright? When we first watched the Indy Hartwell got attacked by Shazza McKenzie, was a quarter through the match.
Yeah.
And then the other matches, they got thrown out by weird ways of winning and that. And yeah, so this was a first legit
breath of fresh air.
It was a breath of fresh air, seeing him even in the semi-main event, and Brandy Rhodes still maintaining that undefeated streak. She's still 4-0.
And Indy, that's the first World Series event where she's actually played the heel now.
Exactly right. And then someone chanted this after Indy kicked Brandy straight to the head and said, "You're nothing without Cody." They yelled out, "You're nothing without Tone."
Stevie's better.
Okay, let's clear this up. Tone Phillip is with impressive Indy Hartwell. That's why they... Anyway, in the main event of World Series Wrestling Melbourne Night 1, the Elite Takeover, we saw the main event get sponsored by Suplex. We saw the Machine, the effing Machine, Brian Cage, up against the Man Mountain, the Ring General, Volta. Lord Jesus Christ, this lived up to the hype. It was even better than what I thought. The hits, the strikes, the lifting ability, the strength, everything. I could hear everything, every painful detail. And hopefully in the footage that we're adding, you'll see that as well.
Even the painful detail where he accidentally stiffed Cage and apologized.
Yeah.
Love
My
it.
Cage didn't mind. He's like, stiff me more.
Not exactly, but it was alright.
Nah, yeah.
Yeah. Great match. Surprisingly, it wasn't for any actual title. I think every time we've actually gone has been for the World Series, World Heavyweight Championship, but this time it was just a nice exhibition match between two of the biggest guys in wrestling today.
And where else can you see Cage up against Walter?
But that match can't
What?
happen more often. They'll kill themselves.
It's... Every part, you just watch the footage.
Good to see Cage pick up a win there. He's a great regular in World Series Wrestling. Walter was a great to see for his
I'm
debut,
sorry,
yeah.
Cage, that was me. Okay, this is what happened. You went to the ropes, yeah? And I had the streamer. I pegged it and I was aiming. Your head was here, I was aiming for there. By the time you went off the ropes, bang! Just straight to the jaw. Pink streamer. I felt bad.
Okay,
it's just a streamer.
So let's just have a little recount of that night. Yeah, he threw a streamer at Erica Reed's rat.
I didn't throw a streamer at Erica Reed's or her rat. Is a Debbie.
He threw it at Cage. Multiple streamers, so the poor referees had to clean them up.
The ref looked like he hated his life once a streamer went into the ring. He was standing there, he saw his...
It's like, just F my life.
Basically.
And lastly as well, Walter called him out. Walter called him. He brought his replica IC title to get
Thank
signed
you, by
by
the
Cody.
way, Cody Rhodes. You were a fantastic gentleman. Thank you for signing my prize possession Intercontinental Championship, which I will keep sacred towards me and never put on line to distribute for my funds.
No. Walter called him out. Walter called him out. Said to him he's going to put it on eBay. He didn't say no.
No, I started laughing because what are you going to say
But,
to a guy?
did you say no?
That I said no. I'm like, no. You going to say no to him?
Walter? No.
I wasn't going to sell it.
Here,
I'm not going to sell it.
Ad'll be the
Never
one
going to sell it. Overall for World Series Wrestling presents the Elite Takeover for 2018. Fantastic. Bring me more.
World Series, best in Australia. When it comes to the international talent, that is. We're not
Exactly
taking
right.
away from any other wrestling promotions that are Australian-based whatsoever. But in terms of the other alternatives, actually, wait, no, New Japan was great. But in terms of regulars, though, World Series, ever since their first event that they brought back, what was it, in 2017? 2017,
Yeah.
last year, yeah. Ever since that first event all the way to this event, great.
Sell out, by the way.
Sell out. I think both Melbourne nights sold out because that's why we get both nights. We're Melbourne. That's why. But usually at every event they do give us a teaser of what the next event's going to be. They haven't yet. I hope they do.
Anyway, this has been our wrestling perspective. If you like what you see, give it a like. If you don't like what you see, give it a dislike. But don't give it a dislike. In the famous words of Hulk Hogan, sub it. Hold on a quick second. We need to just end the video. Liz.
Yeah.
Are we missing something?
I think so. What are we missing?
Something explosive.
Something with merch?